me taking up the space is not about looking for applause from cis or straight people. It's about making my community feel seen and me just existing as who I am.
Period.
My name is Chella Mann.
And my name is Aaron Rose Phillip.
And we have known each other for about 5 years now and have since grown into ourselves together. In private, we've often held a lot of conversations about what it means to be a disabled, trans, BIPOC artist.
We have wanted to bring these conversations we've had in private to the public and candidly dive into our truth.
I'm forced to take up this space because you've never seen this Black trans joy before.
One of my most euphoric experiences was having top surgery.
Being a disabled person, a trans person, you're constantly advocating and problem solving.
And the truth is,
When we are the authors of our own stories.
Be careful what I say because anything could come out.
No, babe, but let it come out.
nothing is off the table.
Today we're sitting down with New York legend, Junior Mintt. You might recognize this fierce multi-hyphenate from her drag performances, her bespoke makeup line, or her many appearances at rallies and civil rights actions around the city. She's a Black trans woman following in the footsteps of the trans femme trailblazers before her. Hi there, Junior. Welcome to the space. God, there's my sister. There she go. Hi, baby. Mwah.
I love
How you doing, baby? You look so gorgeous. Oh my God. Look at you. We're all matching low-key.
Yes, great minds. It's giving golden.
You're giving golden.
It
I
is.
love y'all. I'm so thankful to be here.
We love you so much, baby.
We're so grateful
Welcome
that
to
you're
Queer
here.
Heaven, first of all.
This is truly queer heaven. This truly is. To get to sit down and have conversations about like who you actually are as a person with people who see you is the biggest dream that I ever had for myself. And I just,
Oh, baby.
thank you for making the space for me.
Baby, this really is for you. The episode is so important to me as a Black trans woman. Like, you really are my sister. Like, this episode is so about us and like, you know, what it is that Black trans women have done and do, and the fact that you deserve your flowers, we deserve our flowers, but we're giving you the rightful flowers, babe.
I always say my community saw my value, my power, my voice, my beauty before I ever did. They were the people who were like, you need to go on stage. You can make your own space. You can do this. And it was those moments that then made me start creating my own space. And when I was doing my show in Living Color 3 years ago, we were in the back of a bar. We were fighting to try to find performers who wanted to perform, trying to find the money to do it. And now I look around and there's so many different trans femmes and trans women who are taking up space. Literally tonight is the 3rd anniversary of my show. And up until like 2 months ago, it's the only show in New York produced by a Black trans woman.
It's about time.
Oh, yes,
My
yes!
And so now we're celebrating 3 years of taking up space, using our voice and communing as the trans people that we are, and without having to give up a piece of yourself.
Right.
Everything that I do is about acknowledging the fact that like, even just standing on the stage, you may be looking at me as an icon, but I'm still disenfranchised. I walk out the door and I'm up for attack.
I'm sorry, I just gagged so hard because I've been waiting for someone else to say this. You know, like, people get so lost in this all. Like, I feel like people look at Black trans women and patronize us to the point that they forget that we are real and that we're disenfranchised because they just think that we are iconic caricatures of representations of women that they can just pick and choose from to be like, oh my God, queen, without even internalizing or helping us in any of our actual day-to-day struggles.
That's the thing.
Well, you
That's the
are
thing.
iconic, but not.
You are iconic, baby.
That's exactly, you know what I always
But
say?
you know, they need to pay you for being iconic.
That's the thing. I'm iconic not because of their applause, but in spite of it. Because it's so easy to just see me as a personality, as a person who's like, oh yeah, they bring me a smile, they do these things, but you're not seeing what any of this is rooted in. This is rooted in a brick at Stonewall by Marsha and Sylvia and Miss Major and Stormy.
Exactly,
like,
baby.
It's the fact that like me taking up the space is not about looking for applause from cis or straight people. It's about making my community feel seen and me just existing as who I am.
Period.
And it is the joy of my life. It is the thing I'll never stop doing. It's the thing that like, as long as I can look around and see my community, I can see my community reflected in where I am and what I'm doing, and all the abundance that I get gets to be shared, I'm happy.
I would love to discuss how Black trans women and femmes have literally led the fight to queer liberation and change. What comes to mind when I say that?
So many things come to mind. Of course, Stonewall, Marsha, Sylvie, all of these people who are the reason we know how to create action in the way that we do, how to actually support one another. Because when they were pushed out of the entire Pride movement because they were trans and because they were sex workers, they still kept creating community. I look around and the nightlife scene and the performance scene and the theater scene, all of these different scenes that I was a part of, to get to look at now how people are taking up space without having to give up a piece of themselves or give up a piece of what they want to do. We all stand on each other's shoulders while we stand on the shoulders of every single last Black and brown trans sex worker. Every single one. Because the community that we're building now is going to be the community that's going to allow queer youth sitting in their house right now watching this to be able to believe that they can do anything that they want to. And not to say that it's going to be easy, but to say that, baby, if you got that queerness up in you, you can overcome anything, honey. You can overcome anything. Anything. Yes, baby! Yes!
Okay, my angels, let's zoom out a little bit and discuss how Black trans women and femmes have historically led the fight for queer liberation.
It's time for us to share a little clip with you. Roll that.
When you look a little closer, we're no different than anybody else. We have dreams, aspirations. We want the same shit y'all want. Hi, I'm Grace Detrever, and I'm here to tell you about Marsha P. Johnson. You would see Marsha in Harlem. You would see her in Newark. You would see her everywhere in her truth, in a time where truth was done in the dark. Her throwing that brick was not symbolism of violence. It was, let's get it poppin', because it was time. Marsha never gave an excuse or a reason of anything. She just lived it. And that is revolutionary. There was something that oozed out of her that said, I'm gonna be free however it goes. I'm gonna dress the way I want, I'm gonna do it wherever I want. Marsha represents freedom.
Period. Period.
Talking about Marsha in this area, in this space, becomes so emotional for me because I slept in this park. I represent the street girl, the homeless girl, the girl who goes to jail. At 59 years old, a Black trans woman with experience of incarceration and homelessness, all those disparities that usually break other people, I'm still here. I am a regional and nationally recognized advocate. I facilitate groups for the LGBT community on health, on their safety. The narrative is to connect trans people, you gotta add tragic. We're not anyone's tragic story. Today we have trans women who are going to college, who have jobs, who are leaders. So wake up, America, baby. We are not your tragic story. Marsha's legacy says, do as I did, take it a step further. We have to take those chances. We have to take those steps forward. We have to be brave. I want you to know that somebody today is working in your behalf to make it safer for you. That whatever your story is, it matters. And we ain't going back.
Anytime I see an older trans person, it just blows my mind. It gives me so much hope.
Yes.
Like truly, like 59?
59. Oh my God. Grace is such a force, right? And it's like, let's discuss why it is so utmostly important to uplift stories of Black trans women succeeding and thriving.
Yes, it is essential, because just like she said, we're nobody's tragic story. And on top of it, when you want to look at the tragedies, who caused them? We didn't do it to ourselves.
Right.
It's y'all's community. It's y'all's people. So it's like, one, you want to look at us as a tragedy, but then on top of it, you don't want to do anything. You want to just cry, boo-hoo, thoughts and prayers, and then move on. Well, you're part of the problem.
Right.
You completely staying complacent is a part of the reason why our lives are in danger right now. Oftentimes, it's like, as a black trans woman, just in existence, people are forcing you to take up space. When I get on a train and someone wants to stare at my hair or stare at my crotch, and these things, I just wanted to get on the train and go to get my laser hair done.
Right,
And now I'm forced to take up this space because you've never seen this black trans joy before.
They can't conceptualize us being happy, baby.
Not at all, not at all. We are always there at the service of the questions they have. Getting to tell our stories in power and in victory is something that isn't even for any of them. It's for us.
Right.
It's for us to look at ourselves and look at her and literally be like, I could be her. I could do that. I can see myself in those shoes.
Yes.
And black trans people have been in every single part of society for the entirety of history.
Exactly.
Period.
It's nothing new.
Point at a church, we've been in there. Point at an office, we've been in there. Look at an industry, we've been there. You just don't want to see us.
In
Oh my
fashion. And this is a whole other conversation that we're not even gonna have on this show because there's a whole other series, to be honest about it. Like, we can really get into that.
Yes.
But I won't because I have mercy.
I want to continue spreading this love. Is there any way we can take a moment now and highlight some contemporary black trans femmes and women?
Giving the girls their flowers real quick. You know the
Exactly,
vibes.
not real quick.
Mwah.
We are taking our damn time.
Yes.
Oh, no,
yes.
no, not real quick, actually. You're so right. We're taking our time.
We're taking our time.
The
Let's
dolls
get
are
into
taking
that.
their time.
Ah.
The person who I can easily say is the person who I look at and I'm like, if I get to have an ounce of that joy when I get older in my life, it's Kaya and Dora's show.
Yes.
Creator, founder
Yes.
of Glitz Inc. I look at her and I think that is a person who has through her entire life made sure that all of the abundance she got is taking care of other people. Her, Raquel Willis,
Raquel. Miss Raquel.
I love her.
My angel on earth.
over.
We love her so much.
Yeah.
I still to this day will always say she's the person who taught me my power. At the first Brooklyn Liberation March, I can definitely say I came in one person and left a different one. It was one of those moments where I was like, imposter syndrome moment. And Raquel on that microphone made me realize what my voice can do. What me expressing who I am can do. Queen Jean. Queen Jean.
Queen Jean,
Oh my
yes.
God. Oh my God. Queen Jean, I've never experienced joy like the last Brooklyn Liberation when she was leading the whole march.
Yeah.
It was, for the first time I felt my queerness, my transness, my blackness, and growing up in the Southern Black Baptist
Yes.
Church all intertwined.
You got your life, baby.
Because I was sitting over here like, no, Marsha is actually here right now. Marsha is here right now, and Queen Jean's voice summoned her. It was that moment where I literally was like, I've never looked around and seen myself so reflected. So reflected. I'm so thankful, and I think that if there's a black trans person I haven't listened, you need to find them and tell me about them. If you watching this, find the black trans person and send them to me so I can follow and support. Yes. Period.
Period, baby. Okay, Junior baby. Before you go, we have some questions for you. We got 1 and 2, but let's start with number 1. Roll the clip.
How could we make Black queer history a more staple subject in schools today?
Ooh, child, that's a whole thing. Even I could say, like, that is some, like, that's deeply ingrained, like.
When it comes to making Black queer history a staple and like in schools and education, I think that you need to change the whole system.
Right.
You need to change the whole thing in terms of like making sure that the people who are telling the history are from the community, because hearing this history from a cis white straight guy who like read a book about it is not going to be actually impactful, because part of our history is the humanity of it all.
To even have Black queer history matter to the eyes of the mainstream, we gotta change history. History has to change itself to recognize us for who we are and give us our flowers as Black trans women in the first place.
Period.
So, Junior baby, so to conclude this episode, I would like to ask you, what is your favorite part about being a Black trans woman, and why?
Ooh.
I would have to say my favorite part would definitely be my ancestors. Because as a Black trans woman, every ancestor that I have, I know no matter where they were, no matter what situation they were in, they looked around at a world that told them they shouldn't exist in a time much more difficult than the one right now and saw a reason to keep going. When I look back, I look at all of the ancestors that it took for me to sit here where I am right now, and I always say, and what's my excuse for not going? Because I'm like, I'm not about to have every single amount of sacrifice and pain and trauma and joy and love and abundance that all of my ancestors fought for, fought to keep, and fought to pass down. There's no way I cannot keep going.
Junior, your spirit of gratitude is so potent. Like, it makes me cry. Like, cause I don't know, just like the whole day, like your spirit is so bright. Like, it really makes me sob. Like, oh baby, we're so grateful to have you here. Thank you for everything.
I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to get to sit and commune with my community. I get to actually be my full self, just bring every part of me to the table.
And thank you for bringing your full self and every part of you. I'm
love you.
honored to sit here with you.
We love you.
I love y'all.